I think I'm live. How's it going, everybody? Yeah, welcome back to live streaming, porting the JSource code base from C to C++. This is the second session. This is going to be a much shorter session than our last 8-hour marathon session. This will probably go 2 hours, maybe 3 at the max. But yeah, let's just hop into things. Yeah, feel free to let me know where you're tuning in from, and I'll give you a shout out. I'll monitor the chat. But yeah, let's just jump into things. So, I want to update these goals because we spent like 3 hours last time just trying to get the branch to compile before we abandoned the JSoftware JSource branch and then went off of Jurhouse branch. And then we ended up deleting a bunch of stuff. So I want one of the goals now to be to simplify, reduce complexity of sort of build options. And this is going to start with some of the things we've already removed. So remove support for Android, remove support for AVX, remove Sleef. Hey, Ahmad, how's it going? We'll submit your PR in a sec, or review it in a sec. I also want to remove, so what are, so yeah, these neon SSE builds, I wanna not support either. So 41, 42, and SSS E3. And then I think I also want to remove basically everything but Linux support. So remove Windows, remove Mac OS, and if you're on Mac OS, just use a virtual environment, and if you're on Windows, just use WSL2 Darwin. I don't know about that. Exceptions to error. I haven't thought about that far. We might just pick up Cybrand's result type, which is like modeled after, or modeled similarly to the error handling in Rust. But yeah, that's way down the road, I think. Remove Darwin and then remove Raspberry Pi support. Actually, so of these, Android's gone mostly. We'll look at Ahmed's PR, and none of these. And then also in terms of parallel builds and tests, and then we sort of got parallel build for free off of Jurhouse branch. So let's preview this. So we're going to focus mostly on this stuff today. And we're going to, the next session after this, we'll probably get the test working because I know there's a bunch of tests failing. So yeah, let's do that. And let's go review pull requests now. So thank you mod for this PR. We will briefly review this. I'm guessing, yeah, it's just all the preprocessors. And we are going to be very liberal with our accepting of PRs. Oh yeah, there you go, that's good. Null pointer. Android. Android. Looks good to me. Let's ship it. And what is this under? This is just under enhancements. Sure. I think that's good for now. So let's go pull those down. And then let's do our build. Nice. And let's see if our, oh yeah, so how many viewers? 9. Let's go adjust that. Actually, let's just do oh, also too, if you watched the full stream last time, at the tail end we were trying to do chunk, which or sliding, to get a sliding window of 3 at a time on 10, you do this. Someone commented, although it hasn't showed up on the YouTube video recording, that this is the equivalent. So I'm not sure why these are the same. And then if you put an underbar in front, you get chunks instead of sliding. I tweeted about this. You might have seen that. But yeah, so I'm not sure why this incantation is the same as this. But good to know that our J knowledge is slowly improving due to viewers educating me. So if you are a J expert watching and I ever make mistakes, just please let me know. I'm more than happy to be corrected because my mistakes are opportunities to learn. So this looks like it's working. We're not going to run the tests because it takes like 5 minutes. So until we get the tests parallelized, we're sort of going to ignore them. Maybe we'll do it at the end of the stream. But yeah, this looks good. So let's code. And what does it say? Hello, YouTube. So let's just search for YouTube. Or actually, we're at 13 now. So yeah, what should we start with? What do people think? Base 64. Should we just delete all of these at once? Just do them all in one go? Why not? And my guess is this will no longer compile, which is fine because we need to go update our make files, I believe. So yeah, make, this is in base 64. And we need to get rid of all this stuff. Gone, gone, gone. Is that it? Interesting. That makes sense because we got rid of that, similar to what we saw in our first stream. symbol base 64 streaming code neon. So why? Oh yeah, because we're in JSource. Right, so we deleted these last time as well. So this goes, this goes, this goes, and this goes. So should we try an assert here? Yeah, we can add the assert later. Assert. Seemed to work. And that seemed to work. Okay. So once again, let's just try simply. And now that we know how to do this, very nice. Okay, let's commit that. Also, if there, I got a comment, or someone reached out to me after the last stream and said that they were not familiar with like command line and Git. So if there are folks watching that aren't familiar with all the Git commands, just let me know and I can just briefly mention what I'm doing. I just assumed that most of the engineers or the folks that are watching are familiar with Git, but I'm happy to color commentate what I'm doing with Git. So remove all but base 64. Okay. And now, if I recall, if we go into JSource, so also too, we're keeping track of, where's the cat command? We started off with roughly like 84,000 lines of code. We're down to 74,000. So the smaller this gets, the better. And I think there's like 200,000 here. Yeah, it's 199 currently. So yeah, the more that we can get this down, the better. And I think similar to how we got rid of some of the AVX files, there are some Neon specific files, and potentially some SSE specific files. Wow, those are the same ones. So we can try moving those now, and see how far we get with this. So I'm going to pronounce the name wrong. I'll just say Joe, or if you can tell me how to phonetically pronounce that. But Joe asks, what shell do I use? I use Zush, if that's how you pronounce it. Specifically, oh my Zush. I can't remember what theme I use, but there's like a plethora of these sort of pipeline styles. And I just really, really like this. Just colorful. I love the fact that it's yellow when you have modifications and it's green when everything's committed. I really, really like that. And I think, honestly, like, I am not like a command line wizard. Honestly, like 90% of how I navigate is just with Control R, and it just does a history search so that you can search up whatever you've done before. I should probably invest more time in like learning the shell commands really, really well. Sed and awk are on my list of things to learn. But yes, let's remove SSE. Actually, yeah, SSE. And that should break things. No work to do. Interesting. What if we remove the build file? Right, we need to Yeah, I'm almost positive it's Agnoster. Yeah, now that you mention it, I set this up like over a year ago, and I spent like probably a whole weekend trying out different themes. And also too, you have to mess around like you have to mess around with the fonts because these are basically like triangles, and if you don't have the right font, you get like slight like this is basically like perfectly aligned, but if you don't use the right font, like it doesn't look that like if you're OCD like me, it's really bothering. So I spent like a while configuring it, but yeah, I think Agnoster is correct. Um, okay, cannot find source file. That's because we deleted it. So let's go. Let us go fix that. So JSource. We're looking for SSE. So yeah, these both are gone. So let's try that one more time. And Ninja's building. That's interesting. So like no files depend on that? That's hard to believe. So what were those files called? SSE2 Neon? Oh, so they are included. For some reason it's just not causing a problem because they're embedded inside a preprocessor statement. And we also deleted this as well. Actually, let's quickly search for that. Whoa, what happened? Yeah, we can delete this. We can... Oh yeah, I forgot to mention too. In the last session, I actually learned a ton of stuff. And so I decided to document all the stuff that either sometimes so in my day job, my compile time is like, it depends, but it's not short. Like a clean build takes like 20 minutes. So like this rapid development of being able to compile in like less than 10 seconds, I've forgotten what this is like. And you start the faster you iterate, the faster you're like getting better at like your command line stuff. So there was things like, I used to know this get diff stat, but I'd forgot it just because you're not moving that quickly when you're compiling that slow. But there's a bunch of stuff. Probably the most useful was learning this DL error. But anyways, each time I learn something, I'm going to document it, and I'll try and keep track throughout the streams because I think it's good. This has become my Mount Everest, as I mentioned in the last stream, and the more I learn, the better. So, and I guess my name is pronounced like. I do not know. Let's just, this is actually on a different computer. I told myself I would fix that this time. How to pronounce. Where is this? I've got it on mute. So my mic may or may not pick this up. Joao. Is that correct? Was one of those? Joao? Like a soft J, soft G? Let me know if that's correct. So I think we're building here. No work to do. And things are still working correctly. Oh, now we're up to 22 viewers, so I gotta keep it up to date. Also too, this is bugging me now that I'm using this global search so much, because I don't spend as much time probably exploring the code base. Let's go find out the shortcuts for VS Code next search result. Shortcut. Shift F4 and F4. So let's see if that works. So once again, if we search for prompt and our prompt F4, oh yeah, there we go. And the question is, what if I hit delete? That doesn't work. Well, that's good enough for now. So yeah, we can add that to our lessons learned. So F4 and shift plus F4 for navigating search results. Oh yeah, I recognize the photo. Joao was saying that they had asked about a photo or APL question on Twitter, and I had responded. And yes, I think you're using the same profile pic. Good to know. Good to know. We can add that pronunciation, except I don't have the squiggly on top of your A. Pronunciation of. We'll put a little there for temporary hat. Maybe I'll go fix that. I'll find the but doing our iota test just to make sure that this still works. / iota. For those of you, that aren't familiar, this is how you spell the stood iota in J is I dot. Hey Bob. Bob is now we have a local. Bob says he's not a J expert, but compared to the rest of us, Bob is a J expert. So if we have J questions, we can ask Bob. Okay, so we've removed these files. Let's just add that. Remove SSE files. So now should we, let's see what happens when we search for SSE. So yeah, how often do these things show up? Should we just delete all these? Let's do that. AVX, neon, SSS, and I assume this should upset some stuff. I hope it does. Bob says, just a dude. Relatively speaking, amongst us, you're a J expert. Ahmad says, J scares me, so decided to take along with the stream, at least to get an understanding. I think that's the thing. So, Bob mentioned that some of the stuff that I was doing, specifically what I mentioned, I'm not sure. Oh, why is it still showing 13? Did I not save my... Did I not save this file? Oh, here we go. Well, we got errors. We'll come back to it. But yeah, so put that topic on the stack, and AXRC. So yeah, base 60. Let's just go underscore AVX2. AVX2. The file that it was whining about was this one here. So let's just delete all this stuff except for the plain one. That was it, right? Yeah. So that works. So yeah, this is, well... Yes, there's stuff that scares all of us. So yeah, in the previous video, I was spelling sliding as follows. So, oh, where did it go? Oh yeah, there's an extra 13 in here for some reason. So this is how I would spell sliding. So yeah, and just in case, I guess I should give more background. So like, what's the most popular language that has sliding? Does Python? Python doesn't have it in their standard library. Um, let's actually go to. I gave a YouTube. CPPCon, slide, and stride. So this is currently, it's a proposed algorithm. This is a proposed algorithm for C++ 23. So I don't know which is the most popular of the languages. Probably not D or Haskell. Maybe Kotlin, maybe Scala. But this algorithm is called different things in every language, which is basically what I'm pointing out in this talk. And this is how I thought you spelt it. I thought you spelt it less than semicolon dot underbar 3. This is not the like maybe this is one spelling of it, but as I mentioned earlier, someone pointed out that this, and it's called infix. So we actually looked for this on JNuvoc, which is like the reference page for all of the J glyphs. And if I had known that it was called infix, we would have been able to find. So I have no idea why they chose infix, but you can see sure enough here. Here's the sliding version, and when you prefix it with an underscore, you get the chunk version. So the chunk doesn't have overlapping windows. The sliding version does. Yeah, I'm not really sure. There might be some relation to the fact that this is also the scan operator, if I am not mistaken. So when you pair this with a binary operation, oh, it's not. In APL, that's surprising. So yeah, plus slash iota is scan, which basically is the sum of each of the elements up to that index. So if iota 10 is just 1 to 10, so the first element is the sum of the first 1 elements, the sum of the first 2 elements, etc. But now that I am recalling, for some reason I think actually, yeah, this left slash, so slash and then backslash together is scan. Anyways, I haven't been paying attention to the chat. Ahmad says, the amount of go-tos in this source is scary. How many go-tos are there? 297? I mean, compared to the number of macros, that's a small number. Oh, look at that. Wow. We're down almost 50% on macros. If you watch the last stream, I believe there was like 9,000 something, and we're down to 5,000. That's incredible. Joao says, I like programming languages, and the APL family looks pretty mind-expanding. That is 1,000,000% true. Lincoln says, Forth scares me. Maybe I'll eventually grok Forth. Yeah, Forth is on... I run the... Or will this come up on Google? Program languages virtual meetup. It does come up. It says it's based in Toronto, but I don't think there's a way to give it like a virtual location. One of the books that we might cover in this is Thinking Forth, because a couple people have expressed interest. Yeah, Forth. Forth is a language I'm incredibly interested in because of its extensive use of combinators, which show up in languages like APL and J, but they don't call them combinators in that language. Bob says they call it infix because it's not outfix. All right. And Lincoln said, at least they aren't abusing set jump and long jump. Well, do we know that's true? There is, I think, I'm not sure if you saw on the first version, but I pointed out this used to be 17%, but as we delete stuff, these percentages are going to change. This code is 20% assembly. I'm hoping it's just going to disappear in my deletion of things, but we'll see. But yeah, if I'm not sure, Bob, if you know the answer of why there's two different spellings of so yeah, that's our scan, but there's two different spellings of sliding. So we've got sliding 1 and sliding 2. which is, so these are the same thing. 3 sliding iota 10, 3 sliding 2 iota 10. And yeah, I have no idea. But we will unlock the secrets. Maybe Bob knows, maybe Bob doesn't. Yeah, where were we? So we just deleted this, and it builds now, I think. Yeah. So let's add this. Actually, well, let's keep going. I feel like we had more base 64 stuff to delete. It's all just plain stuff, so that's fine then. All right, let's go back to looking for. Actually, first let's just check: are there full files that we can delete? And actually, let's check how many lines we're down to. Look at that! Holy smokes! Those files that we deleted, there was what, 3 of them? Dropped us down another 5,000 lines. Lincoln said, most cursed use I've seen of set jump is to make single task coroutines. Undefined behavior. Well, I have not seen that, so yeah, we're probably going to run into some. Well, we've already run into some interesting stuff. Have I checked Dex out? No. Is Dex a library? So grep for. Should we delete this too? Yeah, let's delete this too. Is this a makefile complaint? It is. Maybe, maybe not. So once again, this is working. Really? All right, we're taking a break. Wow. I thought I had heard of every single array programming language. Who's working on this? I should read this out loud instead of in my head. Array programming is harder than it should be. Major pain points are managing bulk operations on high rank arrays and the associated shape and indexing errors. We describe DEX, a functional array processing language in the Haskell ML family. DEX introduces a lightweight looping construct. Okay, well, if it's got a looping construct, then it's not an array language. Like, they can call it this, but that's fake. Yeah, so is this DEX, or is this like, this is what C++ looks like? The MATLAB NumPy model of array programming avoids explicit loops and indexing, and it can be impressively concise, but it also can feel obfuscated. For example, here's a NumPy function to compute the matrix of pairwise L1 distances between the rows of a matrix. Or is it the columns? The traditional scalar loop. Okay, yeah, so this is Fortran loops. Okay, so I take back what I said earlier. Can we have the best of both? The clarity of indexing explicitly and the succinctness of looping implicitly. Where did you hear about this, Joao? I haven't made up my mind on if this actually fits into the like array-oriented programming language family. Bosk? I feel like I've heard of Bosk. Bosk wasn't array oriented, was it? I remember it being like a web language or something. Free open source, inspired by the syntax and types of TypeScript and the semantics of ML and Node JavaScript. Design goals being, yeah, higher productivity. Yeah, this wiki article doesn't mention arrays. See, I remember this article coming out, and it got a ton of buzz when it did. Yeah, this was a couple years ago now, 2019. Yeah, not an array base, just an interesting one. Okay, Lincoln's saying that. And then Joao is saying, I kind of stalk Google and DeepMind's GitHub pages for interesting projects. Interesting. Yeah, I had not heard of Dex. The newest thing that I've heard of is a language called ShapeRank. That's being pioneered by Gilad Bracha. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. He is the individual behind the Dart programming language, which I'm sure most of you are familiar with. It's like the language behind the Flutter framework. Dart, and you should see... What? Well, is his name on this page? Oh, I guess. Okay, so member of the Dart team. And this is a new array programming language. Fortunately, there's no examples. And then there was also a language being created by a guy named Justin Slepek called Remora, which was like a statically typed version of APL with higher rank, or with rank polymorphism. Hi, Balnian. Bob says try whoa, what is this? Interesting. So is this this looks like a catenating scan. This looks like the equivalent in APL of comma slash iota 10. So comma is catenate. I'm not sure. Let's see. What if you go 0? So 0 less than 2 is just going to return true, right? Yeah. So I'm not sure. But to finish reading Bob's statement, he's saying it's more flexible. When you go dyadic, you get the chunk effect. Think of it like components that you build. That is why sometimes naming works against you. Everybody gives different names, but the primitives are consistent. So what's the primitive called? Infix? Yeah, it sort of confuses me because infix doesn't show up in any programming language. So then it's just hard to search for. You should. So that's what Jay should do. D chunk by. So I spent a lot of time. What is this? Oh, did it? Oh my God! It viewed searching for D language as a DuckDuckGo search. D's docs. Yeah, are really great. because it always has this in other languages. This is often called partition by, group by, or slice when. And I think this is great because when you're searching the DDocs, if coming from another language, if you search for some, in many languages, like in Haskell, this algorithm is called group by. So it's extremely easy to transition from one language to D, or a language to D, because they usually have the alternate names. So even if you're going to call something infix in J, their docs should contain references to the other names. Lincoln said, weird, not array-based language, Shen, not practicable, but its type system supports full sequent calculus, can have typed and untyped code, is a Lisp, and has ML and Prolog features. Interesting. Jacob, currently we are, what are we doing currently? We're exploring someone mentioned that Google is working on a language called Dex. And so I stopped immediately what I was doing to go look at it, because I'm extremely interested in every and all APL languages. So it's only a 5-page paper. I will definitely read this later. It's unclear to me, though, because it seems like they're trying to support like indexing and quasi-for loops. Like I said, I haven't read the full paper, but like immediately that makes me think that like, well, that's like antithetical to array programming languages. So I'll have to read the full paper. Yeah, co-defunds by Aaron. That's another one. That's just basically a APL implementation, though, or a compiler. Aaron Shu. Why this doesn't go immediately to his GitHub, I'm not sure. Yeah, so it's basically and why it doesn't take me to the code defunds repo, I'm also not sure. Is it not on here? Interesting. But yes, Aaron's well known. Oh, it has its own GitHub. That's why. Is very well known in the APL community. I think he did his PhD on the codefunds compiler, and it's basically a parallel APL. I'm not sure how it's implemented. At one point, I think it was built on top of Arrayfire. Is that what it's called? Yeah, I thought maybe it was built on top of this, but I haven't looked into it fully. Bob's saying slash is prefix, infix is dyadic. So why do you have to do, so that's odd. So it's weird that you have to spell scan this way. So yeah, Bob is saying that basically slash is monadically, when it takes a single argument, it is prefix. Well, so what does slash iota 10 do? It doesn't do anything. Group by kind of reminded me of SQL. John Scholes invented codefunds? I thought it was Aaron's project. Who's John Scholes? I feel like I've seen that name on talks and papers. When you say co-defunds, do you literally mean co-defunds like this project, or do you mean John Scholes invented defunds in APL? And Bob's saying that prefix slash is an adverb; it needs a verb to its left. Yeah. So I guess reduction is the verb here. Interesting, to get scan. Okay, well, I will post a bunch of these links too, similar to in the meetup that I run. I post links too, so there's a ton of great links to like the Bossk language and the Dex language. So if folks want to read this stuff. Oh yeah, that was actually, I meant to do this at the beginning too, and totally forgot. I don't believe that currently you can send links in the chat of the live stream. So I heard about this recently. GitHub set this up. So yeah, live stream links, because YouTube doesn't allow sharing links in live stream chat. Feel free to share them here and just ping me in the chat if you and so I think going forward, if you have a GitHub account, you can just come over here. You know, feel free to start the repo if you want while you're doing it, and then just post your links here, and that way we can. In fact, actually, maybe I can just do that right now with all these links. Where did that go? Actually, let me do this later because this is going to take away stream time. So yeah, Bob's saying that John started the work on co-defunds, and then Aaron took it to the next level. And I've just realized too that my face is ghostly white because of the lighting. I'm not sure why that is. All right, that was a fantastic digression, Joao. Thank you for pointing me at Dex. I'm definitely going to look into that a bit more later. Bob mentioned APL Wiki says that he was the designer and implementer of APL's direct functions. Defunds, yeah, pronounced defunds. Okie dokes. Let us. I guess we don't need to commit this stuff right away. So what were we doing? We were building and deleting config.h. All right, well, we can delete that out of the base64 lib. Remove. I feel like, oh yeah, there was another file I wanted to delete, which I believe was jversion.x. Can we get rid of that one? -x. Well, we did something. Oh yeah, I guess we need to update the CMake file now. Interesting. So do we need this? Oh, libconfig.h in base64 CMake. Oh yeah, let me turn off my desktop audio. I made that mistake. Also too, I thought I put a noise gate on. Clearly, I'm not going to sort it out this time, but for maybe next stream, or I'm not sure how irritating the typing is. Let me know if it's irritating. Maybe I can sort it out. No one really mentioned it last time, although I thought I had set up the noise gate so that small noises would be filtered out. Interesting. A file with everything commented out is included everywhere. All right, we're not using our it's still, oh yeah, I didn't save. Nice. And once again, it's still working. Oh, here's a question. For the J folks, I'm not sure if it's just Bob or there's multiple. Does J have the same thing as APL's commute operator? So I can type iota 5 comma iota 5 with outer product to get my 5 by 5 matrix of pairs of numbers, or I can delete this and just type the commute operator and get the same thing, which basically means use your right argument as both your right and left argument. I assume J has this. I definitely don't know what it's called, because that way, instead of having to type this in APL, I could do the same thing by just, I don't know, spelling this slightly differently. Let me know if you know of a way to do that. Okay, what's next? We were... Tilde is the commute adverb. Ooh. So where do I put it? Do I put it here? Ha! Isn't that awesome? And it looks looks super similar to APL. Oh, that is fantastic. Thank you, Bob. So yeah, we can add that to our lessons learned. For those of you that may have joined post me saying that, we're keeping track of all the stuff that we pronounce here. So commute adverb in J is this. Well, we also learned John Scholl's started Cody funds. What else did we learn? We learned about Dext. Very interesting. That's actually probably my top thing that I've learned so far. Although maybe this is more important. Yeah, that is awesome. All right, I feel like I've got enough changes that we should so deleting SSE and friends, and we can push this. And yeah, it does take a bit to for these stats on the side to update. They're not immediate. Right, I wanted to get rid of MSVC. Was there another folder I also wanted to try and get rid of? Well, let's just do that first. Remove. And let's see if that builds. So actually, let's... because I'm sure this is going to break some stuff. Wow, that was magical. remove, make MSVC folder. Whoops, did I type something? Yeah, I did. Okay, so that's one less folder. Dyadic, it's called reflex. Why is it called reflex? Reflex. Yeah, so it's exactly what... See, that's the thing, is that does anywhere on this page mention that it's called commute? See, it's a tragedy that, like, not only do these docs... I guess this is a wiki. Maybe I should just start, like, can I start modifying these wikis? I have to log in. Maybe I should create an account and just start modifying these wikis. Should we do it? Yeah, let me do this on a different page. What? Oh, wait, is there a way to create an account? I will do this for next time. I will find a way. Instead of whining about these docs, I should just start fixing them. You must create an account. To do so, please, yeah. So I'll do this for next time. Yeah, exit. But yeah, there's some article that says you shouldn't whine about stuff unless if you're going to do something about it. And this is a wiki, so why not just edit it? So yeah, for next time, I will get this set up, and so I will just start updating these docs with references to what these things are called in different languages. So yeah, Bob says the dyadic reverses, and yeah, that it's called reflex because it reflects the argument onto both sides. Reflex. Yeah, I mean, Ken Iverson cared so much about words that I don't for a second doubt that he put like a lot of thought into the names of these things. So yeah, it's just a matter of sussing out the motivation behind it. All right, so let's go back here, and I feel like we're a long ways away, so let's search for neon. And yeah, I still think we've got a lot of stuff to delete here. Although this file we've been to before, so my guess is that's actually not going to break anything. It did not. ARM neon. Or Win32. Okay, let's not delete that just yet. Where are we here? Bliss.h. I feel like we can delete this. Seemed to work. Looks like we missed this from last time. There's actually not too many references to neon. Yeah, Bob's saying you might want to add info. Yeah, my goal for the wiki is not to replace, just to to do what the DDocs have. Is my D link still up? Yeah, it's to just basically do this. Like in APL, this is called commute, and in other languages or like in other domains, this is known as the W combinator, like Haskell Fantasy. I don't really understand any of the combinatory logic stuff. What I basically do is there's this GitHub page called Fantasy Birds that basically has the type signatures of all of the different combinators. And so if you understand Haskell type signatures, which I actually find quite intuitive, basically, let's just find a simple one. This means you can, it doesn't actually mean this, but coming from imperative languages like C and C++, you can regard the last thing after the final arrow as the return argument, and then everything before that as inputs. And when you see something in parentheses, that's a function. So this is basically a function that takes another function as an argument, a single argument function that goes from A to B, a single argument A, and that has a single output B. And so for the case of the warbler, or for the case of our commute, or commute in APL and reflex in J, we want basically a function that takes a function, another function that takes two arguments, that passes the same argument twice, and then takes that argument once, and returns a B, which is exactly the warbler. And the warbler is just a fancy name that comes from a book called To Mock Mockingbird, which was written by Raymond Smullyan. And it basically just gives these cute bird names to each of the combinators from combinatory logic. So like having a nice little thing that says, this is commute from APL, dupe, like if you know fourth or stack languages, or jump, I should have jumped to dupe. Dupe is the equivalent. It takes an argument and just duplicates it twice so that you can pass it to a function with two arguments. So like this is dupe from fourth, commute from APL, and the W or warbler combinator from combinatory logic. And it just makes it more searchable. I do not plan to delete anything. All right, Neon, SSE, I guess SSE in capitals. So this is CMake stuff. What happened to the CMake stuff? Oh yeah, okay. We're gonna ignore CMake stuff for now. And we also want to ignore asserts. The Blackbird combinator, yes, Lincoln. The Blackbird combinator does come from that book. The combinator was, it's discovered. It exists in the world, and Haskell Curry and Sean Finkel, they did most of the work on that back in the 20s and 30s. Where'd the combinator page go? If you search up Blackbird, it is indeed here. But yes, the name Blackbird, I believe, came from Tamaka Mockingbird. If for folks that are interested in this, there's a great talk called Point Free or Die. Point free programming is known as tacit programming in the J and APL languages, but this is like a 30-minute talk that's quite good, that I can highly recommend, that mentions the book, as you can see, and shows some really crazy stuff that you can do with this. Bob says, I should join the forums. I think that you would enjoy that. It is often where those ideas get discussed. I will definitely do that. What is this? This is in JSource cpuinfo.h. Yeah, it's a great talk. Joao was saying she was, or they were saying that they were just about to post that. What are we trying to do here? So I do not know what's going on here. This looks like a bunch of like hardware tagging. That can be deleted. I don't know. Am I going to keep all the ARM stuff in the code base? Why is that complaining? Oh, so I missed one here. And then we can also delete this. Damn. Let's delete this whole file. I gotta remember to save. I'm not saving these files. Gem underscore int. Why did this not come up? Oh, this is in a subfolder. Oh wow. Remove. AVX. Remove. Can we just delete this whole folder? What's going on in here? This just looks like a bunch of stuff that I do not want to support. Make file, gotta update. Once again, that worked. Let's remove the build directory just to try this from scratch. I'll pull that down. We can actually look at that right now. Get status. So yeah, let's remove. Or actually, did it build? I didn't build it. It's a good thing to check. And we want to quickly check that our IOTA test is still working. And it does. We are deleting more SSS and friends. Let's push that. Let's do a quick chess test of what we're at now. 67,000 lines. So we're close to being down 20,000 lines of code, which is pretty good. J can run on iOS. Ahmad says it can run on iOS, Apple TVs, and Apple Watches. I was surprised. Are you saying that with respect to like the ARM support? And Ahmad said they pushed some a PR with Win32 stuff. Look at that. Awesome. Files changed. 37. 15 tests failed still. Win32, 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 Win32. If. Oh, wow. So, yeah, you weren't saying that with respect to ARM. You were just saying that you came across. Or it was with respect to ARM. But, yeah, this is crazy. We don't need this. Not for the purposes of this, this project. Win32. World's fastest review of 740 plus lines of code. Lincoln said, it seems like most of the assembly on the unforked J repo is OpenSSL stuff. Interesting. Can we rip this out then? Or is the J engine going to come crumbling down? We'll come back to that in a sec once we're done reviewing Win32. We're halfway done. Also, too, yeah, I was exploring F1 and F2. These are basically... I wonder how often do F1 and F2 show up? 1,500 times for F1. 1,200, but let's actually do it with a paren. 660 and over 1,000. So yeah, F1 and F2 are, from what I can tell, basically the macros for our general monadic and dyadic function calls, I think. And the reason I can tell this is, well, that sort of makes sense. F1 takes one argument, F2 takes two arguments. And in APL, the arguments are named alpha and omega. So this is the equivalent of plus. It's basically, this is just basically a lambda that explicitly passes in the two arguments. And instead of naming your arguments in APL, functions can only, like lambdas or anonymous functions, can only take two arguments. With only one, it's called alpha. And when you have two arguments, the second one's called omega. And if you look at what these are called, it looks like A is your generic sort of array type that can have whatever shape, rank 1, rank 0, rank 10, and then omega and alpha. So it looks like, or except, yeah, I messed that up though. Omega is when you have 1. Alpha is the second one. And Ahmad's saying that, yeah, OpenSSL, you can't really remove it that easily. But yeah, we'll kick that down the road for now. Back to reviewing this PR. Win 32, win 32, win 32, win 32, win 32, win 32. Almost done. Looks good. Ship it. Whoop. +1. And let's labels, enhancements, merge pull request. Awesome. Thanks, Ahmad. And let's go back, pull, and actually we're in the wrong folder. LGTM is short for looks good to me in GitHub land. It's a very common acronym. Instead of typing out looks good to me, people just say LGTM. Yeah. Alrighty. So back to our SSE tooth pulling. Oh yeah, actually that's what we were doing. We were looking at what this bliss is. So yeah, we got this folder called bliss. What is bliss? Actually, can we Google it? This could be it. Bliss is based on BLAS, is a portable software framework for instantiating high-performance BLAS-like dense linear algebra libraries. I mean, that's more than likely what it is. The question is this like an optional thing? Only one way to find out. Makefile. Look for bliss. Now what happens if we get rid of it entirely? Yeah, it still works. Any last questions for Bob? I do not at the moment. Anybody in the chat, feel free to ask. Thank you so much. We've learned a couple really useful things. Reflex, we've learned the name of it. We've learned the fact that it exists. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think mostly right now we're just ripping stuff out. The more interesting parts, I think, for folks that know J are going to be when we actually start like porting the code from C to C++ and like going to the files. Like if we look up like index of like so vi is the file that implements index of. And so once we start porting code like this, I think this will be more interesting because every time we do this, we'll explore each of the verbs individually. But yeah, thank you so much for answering questions. It's super helpful. Definitely making more sense of J than I would without the guidance. Let me check. J out. So actually, let's just try this. I'm gonna remove build. I'm surprised that removing that folder just worked. I guess so, though. And we can actually go to the README as well. Luke-a-lot says, I love that you're using J. I don't know if anyone has asked this, but I just joined the stream. What are your thoughts on J versus APL? Interesting that you asked that. Someone asked me that on one of my YouTube videos that I posted. And what did I say? I said at the time that I prefer APL because there's a lot of expressiveness and meaning in the APL symbols, which I think is lost a lot of the time when you switch to J. And I think I pointed out, if you want to sum up, so let's just take a look at an example. And also let's switch this. So if you want to sum up each of the 3 elements at a time in a sliding window over the first 10 numbers, this is what it looks like. Previously, I had said it looks like, and then made the argument also, why didn't that work? There should be a semicolon. And I also made the point that each is just a shorthand for, is it ampersand dot, ampersand period less than? So like if you compare this to the equivalent in APL, which is sum over a 3-wise reduction of APL, this may look more obscure to you, but I promise you that, like, for me, this is a lot more readable than this. And even when you compare it to each, and each with the nicer version of the sliding, I don't know. I'm closer to saying like this is close to APL here, but just I don't know. At the moment, I know APL a lot better than I know J, so that's probably like, it's just bias. It'll be interesting to ask my question at the end of this once we have summited Mount JSource and ported this to C++, and I know J a lot better. I think it'll be a more meaningful answer because right now I just know APL better, so I can say, oh look, I like the way that this looks. Whereas in J, I say, oh, this looks worse, but also this is not the best way to spell it. This is the best way to spell it that I know at the moment. But also too, I might end up liking programming in J even though I like APL better, just because it is a hassle to sort of, you know, have to switch to this environment and be constantly explaining, you know, these symbols and whatnot. But I guess it's not much different in J. Like, anyways, that's my answer for the second, for the moment. But stay tuned; it will definitely evolve. So what are we doing now? Can we say that we've actually deleted all the neon and SSE stuff? I feel like there's a bunch more. Yeah, I don't really know what to do with this file at the moment. I mean, I think it's safe to do this. Whoops. I don't know what the other versions of these are. Love code like that. Always delete stale code. Oh, perfect. Oh yeah, you know what? Let's do that. Search for, see how much code we can delete. Never executed. Well, so actually, well, before we do this, yeah, it's fine. We can just bundle that stuff. Is there a way to collapse shortcut? Let's learn something. Collapse current preprocessor. Collapse current preprocessor VS Code shortcut. I don't want a selection. Well, so I know that I can go, my corresponding bracket is, I have that bound, but that does that work for preprocessors? It does not. Well, actually, let's go to our JSON file and this is not what I want. What do I want? I want keyboard. And what is, this is just control pipe. What is this called? Control split editor. That's not what I want. Control, how many do I have of these? Control shift 107. I'm not going through that. Have I ever tried Emacs? No. I mean, a part of me wants to go learn Vim or Emacs. I used Vim for a tiny bit when I was at Amazon, and I know the basics. But I feel like editor, code editor trends. I want a graph. I want a graph. Give me a graph. Thank you. This is not a very good graph, but it is a graph. What is this? Google Trends? What are we searching for? VS Code? I feel like that's not going to come up very much. Visual Studio Code. Oh wait, we want past 5 years. Is that right? I'm not sure if I'm doing this right. Emacs. Yeah, this isn't really capturing, but like the point is that VS Code is skyrocketing in popularity, and as someone that makes YouTube videos and is live streaming now, I think it's in my best interest to be using the tool that's most popular, even if it's for productivity, not the best. Like the most development is happening for VS Code, and like the number of extensions that you can get is just ballooning. I know that I've heard if you use Vim or if you use Emacs, your productivity can like multiply by some non-trivial coefficient. But yeah. First day of class in my first year, the prof sat down telling us why we should use Emacs and not Vim for half of the first lecture. Yeah, I mean, I worked with a guy who had a 10,000 file .vimrc file, and he just said, like, regardless of how popular something is right now, like, he's invested years into, like, configuring that RC file, and there's no way he's ever switching. But yes, we were trying to find. So let's do this a different way. Editor dot. Go to. There's only 2 of these. Nope. All right, let's. VS Code shortcut. Go to. Actually, yeah, I should just been searching for bracket. Jump to bracket. Control Shift /. And where is... All right, thanks for tuning in, Joao. We'll see you potentially in the next live stream. Yeah, I'll try to start these earlier. I just had stuff going on until 8 basically, so I couldn't hop on any earlier. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, and thanks for pointing out the Dex language. That's super fascinating. All right, so these are the default key bindings. That's why I'm having trouble getting to this. There we go. Jeez Louise, I just wasted, what, 10 minutes? So, what we want to see, jump to, does this not autocomplete? Oh, come on. Come on. Oh, there we go. That's sad. preprocessor. Lincoln says Vim has a lot of depth to it. It has like verbs and subverbs. It gets intuitive after a while, since a lot of key bindings compose. It's an investment, though. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. That's what I've heard. For people that have made that investment, there's no switching or convincing them otherwise because of the investment that they put in. But yeah, I think for newer developers, VS Code is just so easy to get started with. All right, is there no way to do this? VS Code, shortcut, go to matching pre... Visual Studio can do this. Must include preprocessor. Luck-a-lot says, I'm trying to learn Vim. VS Code is great. Vim is really hard so far. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of Vim memes. I remember the first time I accidentally fell into Vim. I was just like, how do I get out? How do I get out? All right, we're giving up on this. That's unfortunate. What I wanted is basically the equivalent of if I'm going to matching brace. I'm not sure if you can see my cursor hopping around here, but I can also, so if I go Control/, I hop around, and if I go Control/, I can select everything, which would be convenient while navigating through these, because if I could just go to the matching brace here instead of having to use my mouse to click. Oh yeah, maybe we should do that. Shortcut for collapsing preprocessor. That might hit it. Control-Shift left bracket for fold region. Control-Shift. Wow! Wonderful. I feel like I knew this at one point. Oh god. All right, going to lessons learned. Control-Shift to... Oh yeah, why did I not... to collapse region. Perfect. So now I can just delete this whole file apparently. CTC that's been deleted. F4. Oh, this is going to be beautiful. Oh, this is wonderful. Yeah, I want to... Yeah, actually, so I'm going to add that to my goals. Let's do that. Actually, let's save the file before I do that. Non-code base goals. Learn to, what do we call this? Not use mouse. So for the background, before I was a engineer, software developer, I was an actuary, which is like statistical insurance, and we work a lot with Excel, and I got so used to working in Excel that I basically never had to touch my mouse. I knew there's keyboard shortcuts for everything. But like I said, when you're dealing with long compile times, it's very rarely that you touching the mouse on a 20-minute compile time is like your bottleneck. But when you're iterating this quickly, it starts to get irritating, my hand having to move to the mouse. So this is actually, it's probably going to be like one of my favorite takeaways from working on this project. because when you learn to not use your mouse, which is what Vim and like Emacs are famous for, you can just move so much more quickly. Right, I have missed a couple of chats here. It's an investment. C++ was an add-on for VS Code. Has a add-on for VS Code. Maybe they just didn't add preprocessors. Yeah, they do, and I think I have both of them installed. But yeah, clearly. But yeah, the shift collapse is exactly what I was looking for anyway. So, Ahmad says, I personally have found C-Line a godsend. Yeah, so I actually have a free JetBrains license for a year, which I have not activated yet, that I won at a meetup. And I was going to use it for this project, but then I figured there's a bigger win because I use VS Code for my day job. So I figured enhancing my ability to use VS Code is better. But in future projects that I think trying to use VS Code is going to slow you down, like I do plan to use C-Line at some point. All right, I didn't even finish reading all the comments. Thoughtbot has some nice tools on Vim's grammar rules. You can try Vim mode in VS Code. Yeah, I've heard about it. I actually know a few people that use Vim mode in VS Code. I got C-Line because I heard about it on CPPcast. Yeah, they've got a lot of ads on different podcasts. C-Line has gone down in recent years. This is from Lincoln. I've been using JetBrains projects for years. In the last few months, it has broken Clang Tidy to the point of uselessness for me. Oh, that's sad. Clang Tidy is super useful. Oh yeah, did I put Clang Tidy in the README? I did not. Thanks for mentioning it. Clang Tidy, the code base. They fixed a lot of the performance issues though. I was surprised when I sent a support request. What IDE do I use at work? Yeah, I think I mentioned that a couple seconds ago. Yeah, VS Code. I work for a remote team, so VS Code has some really nice plugins for like live sharing. And we have like a whole Docker environment configured to work with VS Code, so. And Ahmad saying, oh yeah, I missed, yeah, there's a PR. I will take a look at that. Yeah, and IntelliJ. I've used I don't code in Java, but I've written Java in IntelliJ, and it is a wonderful experience. And I've heard Kotlin is even more wonderful because they designed that language from the ground up to work with their IDE. Right, we were going through these and deleting them. This is awesome though, because this is going to be like how many? What are we at right now? Git diff stats stat _ stat. No S on the diff stat. We're at 500 lines, so we'll see how far we get. Oh, there's 200 lines right there. Was that a... Yeah, that was an end if. F4. Oh, holy smokes. That's what? What is that? Almost 1,000 lines right there? Why is there so many of these? Let's actually take a look. What was it? Yeah, who knows? And it's it doesn't matter because it's getting deleted. $43 left. What is this doing here? Else. And I need to get rid of this end if. What? Unused CPU info? I don't need it. Should we take a break? Let's take a break to see if CIP line 387. So I just missed something. It's the make file. Magically still working. What is the chat saying? Rider for C# is pretty good. From Lincoln. Adam saying, I stopped using JetBrains after the SolarWinds hack. Was that real? I thought that that was just like false fake news, that JetBrains had nothing to do with that. I didn't really look into it. I saw competing headlines. I found C-Line for Rust surprisingly amazing. Yeah, I've heard good things about that. Seeing as Rust doesn't really have a like primary IDE environment. Lincoln saying the same thing for Rust. So did you like replace all of the ifs with if zero? No, these if zeros are in the code base. I did not do anything to these. We're just going through and deleting all this code that for whatever reason is if zeroed out. And I gotta say, this is fun. I mean, this is I'm not thinking at all right now, but I love deleting code, especially when it's a full file, mbx. And let's also go to the make file. Almost down to less than 30. I love when they're all prefixed with obsolete, obsolete, obsolete. Why not just delete it then? What does this say? Waiting till me learn how to XCTL? What is XCTL? Does anybody know? Tickle is a programming language. This is currently a small script that does magic to run Tickle against a large number of files. It's loosely based on the idea of xargs. I've got a feeling this is not what XTL is referring to. XCTL. Or did I type it wrong? XCTL. Yeah, I typed it wrong. Oh, it's another IBM thing? Yep. Did the comment above... There's M. Well, I can't tell. We'll deal with that comment later. Whoops. Ooh, another 500 lines of code. Wonderful. Ooh, is this a full file? Nice. This is VBit. Let's go to CMake. And search for... go to our next search result. Oh, VDX. Extended precision floating point. Not supported yet. Fantastic. We don't need a file for it then. There's a .c and a .h. What's in the .h? Let's see. SLC dot line 102. Just out of curiosity, we're up to 3,000 lines of code. Absolutely wonderful. Wonder if we can get below 60,000 a day. Q is to exit. So let's see if we can delete this .h file. Or it's the H's are not included here. What was the file we were in? vdx.h. The Matt asks, am I planning on going to C++ now this year? I haven't made up my mind. I'm already presenting at ACCU in March virtually, and then GTC which is either in April or June. It's not clear. It hasn't been announced yet. And I have a couple ideas, but it's more a matter of if I actually want to have to prepare for another talk. But I have till the middle of February to decide so. All right, so we could get rid of that. That's fantastic. Actually, I just want to double check. So what are the files? We deleted MBX. So yeah, there's no mbx.h, and we also deleted ctc. And there's no ct.h. Okay. I need some water. Where's my water? All right, we're getting there. We're getting there. We were searching for hash if 0, and we're down to 23 results. Look at that. Why does it show me a result from a deleted file? Why is it, there we go. Another 200 lines. Oh, doesn't that look so much nicer now too? Well, I mean, minus the code format to begin with. What file is this? Xenos, aka foreign, external, experimental, and extra. Okay. Actually, let's make sure we got that right. This needs to be deleted first, and then this needs to be deleted. What? Oh, I hit F5 instead of F4. My bad. We are almost done. We've got some of them in assembly, so I don't think we have to mess around with those. It means we got like 5 left. Hopefully a couple of the last ones are really big. Wow. Second last one. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. And I accidentally skipped over this one. Yay! Git diff stat. Just under 4,000. Plus, what are we trying to do? We're trying to do 3. And then our other test is plus slash. Cool. Git add JSource. Git commit. Removing. Let's see, how many lines? 63,000. Down 22,000. So let's go to here. Pull requests. Does this have conflicts? Are you able to pull and resolve these? And then I can review. Ahmed, if you're still there. Or I guess I can just comment in case you departed. Resolve conflicts, please. And then alrighty, where are we at? We're at just past 10. So we'll go for, I don't know, 30 minutes, maybe 60 minutes more. What do we have that we might want to... So I don't even recall what we were looking at before we saw the crab dance. So my last video got copyrighted. Not copy striked, so that's okay. I'm fine with losing the revenue because I basically don't make any money off of these videos. So it's just pennies that they're collecting. But I have to find a new. There's like a couple. There's a couple like copyright free. Yeah, I mean it happens all the time. Like technically, the first 30 or 40 videos on my YouTube channel, like every fourth one, or they used to be like these weekly videos, and I used the theme from. I don't want to play it because I don't want this video to get copyrighted again. But if any of you have watched, I'm not sure what the ages of folks are, but there was a TV show called Numbers. Numbers Intro. Yeah, how do I get a link? Copy link? Copy link address. And then where is my conversation? Can we go to discussions? Yeah, discussions. If you want, open this up. This was like my favorite TV show as a kid. Numbers intro. It basically revolved around an FBI agent and his brother was a PhD. I'm not even sure if he was a PhD, but he was like a math prodigy. And so his FBI agent brother would always be solving these cases and then bringing him in as a consultant. It was an awesome show. I loved it so much. It's like if you liked Good Will Hunting the movie, you'll love like this TV show. Can highly recommend. So I think we were trying to remove these. I think it was this one. We had ignored the make files for a bit, and then we had found a file that had some if zeros, and then we just sort of went off on that tangent. So where is SSS3 popping up here? I thought we deleted this, but maybe this was a different branch of code. More comments. Yeah, 6 seasons. Yeah, it's from sorry, I'm new to this channel. All right, so yeah, I'm not sure how many people we've got. What, 15 people? If potentially or 17 people. We are. This is sort of like mob programming because half the time, whoops, that was the wrong thing I wanted to click on. Half the time, there's PRs being submitted from folks, and they're coaching me. The live chat's coaching me on stuff. But we are taking a open source code base that is an implementation of the J programming language. And there's a couple different examples of Python, Haskell, R, APL, and then what the corresponding code looks like in J. It's an array programming language, so it looks very odd compared to most languages like Python and C++. And we're slowly but surely simplifying this code base, and then the goal is to port it from C to C++20, with the goal of, I don't know, learning a bunch of stuff along the way, and then also becoming, hopefully, maybe not J experts, but J novices, because I'm very interested in array programming languages. So hopefully that answers your question. And so right now, I mean, if you look at git log, we've basically just been removing, today's session is removing a bunch of code. So deleting code, removing code. You know what? While I'm on the topic, I had a very cool command called git lg when I was at Amazon, and we want this one. Now I can go, let's get a nicer background here. Wahaha. I mean, so this is going to be meaningless. Although, there you go. There's some, Ahmad's been committing PRs, but this is just a nicer way. And that's the thing is, you can't really see it right here. Let's see if we go down. I don't really think there's that many committers to the J repo. But when you have like a multi-person project with a lot of branches and a lot of merging, this is a really nice visualization, and it's just it's nicer than looking at git log. So once again, we can add that to, this is not really a lessons learned. If you're watching Ben, which you're not, but Ben, who's a senior engineer that I worked with at Amazon, he was the one that showed me this git log. got git log set up. So yeah, that's very nice. Which now you can see, yeah, merge, or sorry, remove, 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 delete, remove. And this has all been, you know, the last 2 hours. It's just removing and deleting things. All right. So yeah, we were looking at this file. My guess is all of this stuff can be deleted. Let's put a comment. CH to do. My guess is all of this stuff can be deleted. This is xh.c, line 42. xa.c 311. Oh, did I This needs to be an if. Yeah, this is, I do have to say, that's the way I like to format my if statements as well, which Clang format does not support. In fact, I actually wish programming languages had evolved so that the else condition was, or not necessarily that this was 2 characters, but that the length of the keyword if and the length of the subsequent else condition keywords were the same number of characters. But c'est la vie. And then else without a previous if. Did I not save the file? What's going on here? Git diff, git status, git diff jsource xa. On line 350, an else without a previous. And then I.C. This was line 97. Awesome. So now if we search for SSSE, basically everything's done except for the CMake file. Is this gonna break stuff? Let's see. SSSSSSSSSSSSS. AVX, 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 AVX. AVX, SSE. That might have been a bit aggressive. Whoops, not what I wanted. Else and if. Or of course now I forgot which one it was. So yeah, it is the one on 510. And that was very please, CMake, don't break. Nice. Yeah, GitLog is GitLG is awesome. And I've never been on a stream yet, but this is cool. Yeah, I mean, I hope this stuff isn't boring. Honestly, I just figured I was going to be doing this anyways, and it was just an experiment to see. I know, like, Jason Turner, he did a stream and he had like thousands and thousands of people. I think concurrently at one time it was more like 500, but my channel's a lot smaller than his, and also I think what I'm doing is of less interest to people than them porting Doom. But yeah, I mean, for the people that are tuning in, I hope it's a fun project, and even if it's just me talking into the void, that's totally fine too, because that's what I would have been doing anyways, minus the talking. What distro am I using? Ubuntu 18.04. I might have broken something. Uh-oh. So this is still working. So let's go take a look at the pull requests. Hopefully that didn't also just break your... Although I didn't push, did I? Did you push your conflict resolutions? And also, there's one more. Sorry, we're racing. Enhancements. Still at roughly 63,000 lines. Where's my chapstick? Yeah, Robert. If you enjoy Jason's talks, I would highly encourage C++. What are they called? Best parts? Yeah. This talk here is it's really good. I mean, there's a lot of talks that just sort of talk about why C++ is so awful. Like it's people that enjoy and write in C++ for a living. For some reason, we like to talk about the worst parts of the language because I think it's the parts that people have the most trouble with. But I don't see enough talks like highlighting why C++ is great. Like, don't get me wrong, there's lots of cool languages coming out like Rust. I think Rust is a super interesting option. But I watched this talk and like almost half of the things on the list are at like the very top of the reasons why I enjoy coding with C++. And don't get me wrong, it can be a frustrating language at times, but it's also an extremely powerful language. And yeah, there's one of my favorite speakers, Brian Cantrell. He's got sort of a funny anecdote where he says that like C++ he can't ever code in again because in the early 2000s the way C++ treated him was like an ex-girlfriend that took his stuff out into the middle of the street and lit it on fire. And so he's like, I'm happy for C++ that it's doing great now, a decade later, but I can't ever go back. And it's just a funny anecdote because he's acknowledging that the language has gotten better. But I think it has a reputation from the early 2000s before C++ 11 where it just was like footgun after footgun after footgun. Yeah, C++ Weekly is awesome. What are we doing here? We were checking... Oh yeah, conflicts resolved. All right, let's quickly go through this PR and... Yeah, hopefully... Well, I'm not sure if it does break my stuff, but if it does, at least I can troubleshoot it, and then we can get it working again. It might just be a conflict between your changes and my changes. If it doesn't, then I won't be able to diagnose it if I can't replicate it. But if you are able to find the change that I pushed that broke the repo on your end, if you submit a PR, I'll revert whatever it was that I messed up. I can also I'll go through my deletions and see if there's something that stands out that I shouldn't have deleted. You're adding all this code? What is this? Or was this stuff that I... Oh yeah, so it does look like... Actually, I know what this is. Looks like you are adding back some... So let's just look for these. One. Too far. It's odd to be reviewing someone's PR while you know they're watching the live stream. Yeah, that's exactly what it was, Robert. Lincoln says, currently I'm working on a project and I was adding a trivial 4-line feature and realized my code has some crazy hard to reproduce bug. That's very unfortunate, yes. A lot of engineering time is spent on... oh yeah, this is very weird that this used to be a big PR that was deleting stuff. So this looks fine. So let's go back to, so we're done with SSSE. Neon was something we were looking for. I think it's safe to say that for the time being, this is mostly dealt with. So what is on our README? So oh yeah, SSE 41, 42. So we can check this one. Are you not able to check off a README? Oh yeah, we've got these ones. How much time we got? 10:30. Also too, are you on Mac, Ahmad? Is that what you said? Because maybe we don't want to remove this then if you're actively submitting PRs. But Raspberry Pi and Darwin, for sure. But yeah, let's look up SSE 41, 42, see if they show up. Not anymore. Okay, well if that's the case then. So yeah, Windows, I think Windows is almost done too, once that PR gets submitted. There's some CMake stuff I guess we might want to get rid of. But let's see how extensive the Darwin and Raspberry Pi support is. Commit these changes. Also too, we should take a moment to split this out into a contributing file. Actually, let's do that. Let's do that not in GitHub. All right, what? Oh, I have local changes. Git status or git diff. Hopefully that shouldn't be a problem. So if I go git pull, why? Git stash, pull, git stash pop, git diff u10. Yes, I don't know why stash could resolve the conflicts, but a git pull bashed it. I don't know why. So yeah, we were going to create a contributing file. This may be a dumb question. No such thing as a dumb question. But what's the difference between removing Darwin? That's definitely not a dumb question because I don't know anything about Apple other than is Mac OS built on top of Darwin? All right, I guess we're leaving Darwin then too. So that just leaves Raspberry Pi. Right, we're supposed to be copying and pasting this into. Well, actually, let's commit. Git add, readme, git commit, update, readme.md. So yeah, now when we, and then we go code contributing.md. Move, build, actually, exit this. Discard, yeah, we want to add a section. Actually, let's just copy and paste it. For building this repository, please oh shit. Actually, well, now let's just update readme and move. How is this PR doing? Still has that. So yeah, let's just check out then. Let's check out the Darwin. Let's see if we can find Darwin. Oh, right, not Darwin. Raspberry Pi. Raspberry Pi. it doesn't seem like there's much to do for Raspberry Pi, or at least not under the name Raspberry Pi. What is this? OpenSSL SHA? Oh boy. Yeah. I think Raspbian is like a flavor of Linux, is it not? This is the Debian symbol. So yeah, it's Raspberry Pi plus Debian. Debian, Ubuntu. So yeah, it looks like just Linux. I wouldn't be surprised if someone got some other OS working on it though. It's a very project that a lot of people tinker with. Yeah, BSD. All right, I don't want to touch. I don't want to touch this stuff right now. CMake. What is netdefs? Let's take a look at some of these folders, see if we can get rid of those. This just looks to be some sort of like debugging file to get some information. And that doesn't seem necessary to me at all. Perfect. What other folders do we have? probably can be deleted too. Why do we have, what is lib edit? Well, whoops. And not what I wanted. Well, was that, hopefully I didn't miss something. Whoa. All right, well. Okay, we're gonna fix this and then we're gonna call it a night. And then maybe we'll check in on that PR. What could I have possibly have done? What? There we go, sorry. Right, head is the one that's capitalized. Damn. Okay. So wait, let's make sure we got this right. Currently we're on 70D. Now we skip to BFB. All right, I'll look at the PR as soon as I figure out. So this one's fine. This one's not. I'm almost positive this one is fine as well. Yep. So I bricked something in the BFB PR. Oh no, this is working now too. Okay. So let's go back. So that's odd. So this definitely doesn't work. I mean, let's go look at these. So this is BFB. We just confirmed. I'm not convinced actually. Let me go BFB remove seems to be working. What did we do in these PRs though? A README file. Like 2 README file edits? Two README file edits and the netdefs folder. So apparently the netdefs folder is critical. All right, well, guess what we're doing, folks. And I guess I should be always removing the build folder. We are going to get revert. It's the beauty of Git. And then we're gonna do a git dash pop and yeah, let's push this. I don't think anything that we've just pushed should conflict with Ahmed's. There we go. Yeah, that's the subtraction we're looking for. Hopefully these are resolved. No conflicts. Go take a quick look. Win32, Win32. Win32. What does it say Win32 here? Yeah, I deleted a netdefs the netdefs folder. I removed this and it broke. Whoops. Which is surprising because if you look at what's in it, it's just a bunch of printf statements. But hey. Yeah, potentially. That's why it wasn't building on your end. Give it a shot. Give it a pull down and see if that was why it was broken. Right, yeah, there's the Win32. MMSV Win32. MMSC Win32, Win32, Win32. Ship it. Well, my oh wait, that's not what I meant to do. Extensions. Not dark mode. Screen shader. There. No worries. Yeah, thanks for the PR, Ahmed. All right, so this is almost exactly at the 3-hour mark, but let's, as our very final thing, we have in our JExamples file an example that we got working yesterday. So let's modify this. So we were trying to calculate pi, but we can basically simplify this all into one line now. So if we copy and paste this, actually wait, we got one last thing to commit here. Well, actually we'll update the live. Or actually, yeah, let's do that first. So open up. Lessons learned. Is there anything else? Learn the netdefs folder can't be deleted, at least for the moment. Do we learn anything else? Yeah, we'll put 2 stars. This probably, and actually, yeah, these VS Code shortcuts are V important. I think that's it. Let me know in the chat if you think there's anything that we covered that is worth adding to that list. And yeah, so now we are going to open up the console, and except unfortunately right, so this is our pi formula, so we can actually just leave it like this, and we know now chunk is actually under bar 2 slash. So pi this is an approximation for pi, obviously. Awesome. Maybe we should format it like that. Awesome to hear that it still builds. So let us copy this. Edit this file here. Revise from above because we learned things. And this is 17th. Dope. Commit changes. Pull and git add. And we're done. All right. That is almost exactly, I think it is exactly at the 3-hour mark, which is, as I said, the max that we would do today. Honestly, I don't know when my partner's on call next. So that'll probably be the next time we do a live stream. And probably what we'll do is we will, on the next live stream, or I guess actually we can also quickly go back to the README. And we can check off the windows. Not sure if there's much to do here or not. Not sure if much to do here. And yeah, and what we're gonna do in the next live stream is, if we go and take a look at the issues, and you saw on Ahmed's PRs, I think there's one more than this now. I'm not going to run it right now because, like I said, it takes 5 minutes to build. But there's a number of these unit tests failing, which we should fix. So we will either fix them. We'll probably fix them first and then parallelize, because we can just run these one by one. But yeah, next live stream will be getting these unit tests working and also figuring out how to run these tests one at a time, because I currently, whenever I do it, I end up failing. But yeah, thanks for everyone that tuned in. I think there was a lot of great links and conversation today. And yeah, thanks for the PRs, Ahmed. Sorry for the conflicts. Obviously, it's a bit of a race when we're both working on the same code base. But yeah, hope to see all of those that found this interesting in the next live stream. Yeah, subscribe. I honestly, I don't know how to like notify my subscribers. I sent out a community. I don't like does YouTube. I don't know if YouTube notifies people about like, hey, in 4 days someone's going live. Um, but yeah, if you subscribe, I'll try and send out these a couple days in advance, so that folks find out. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see everybody hopefully in the next live stream.